What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB Recap. We have a lot to talk about today, including Jackson Holliday. He finally got on board with his first base hit. He started off like 0 for 16 or something insane like that. Blake Snell, he made his return back to Tampa, and yeah, it did not go well at all. The Guardians and the Yankees, they played in one of the craziest / sloppiest games I've ever seen, and Marcell Ozuna, he's playing like prime Mark McGwire to start the year. All of that and more in today's MLB Recap. We recap every single game, every single day. Join the team. We're so close to 500,000. Thank you so much. And just a quick reminder, save yourself 20 bucks off on SeatGeek using code Fuzzy. And if you're into daily fantasy sports, download Underdog Fantasy, use my code Fuzzy, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Now, before we talk about the actual highlights, we have a weird story. Tommy Pham is joining the White Sox. It's on a minor league deal. I don't understand this. He had 27 doubles, 16 home runs, and almost 115 OPS plus last year, and he was clutch in the playoffs. Maybe it's because he's 36 years old that he's not getting a full-blown opportunity with a playoff contending team, but him joining the White Sox means that he's probably going to get shipped at the deadline to a playoff contender, so maybe it might work out for him. But this is wild. He should be getting a big league deal for someone. So like I mentioned in the intro, this was one of the craziest Guardians games I've seen in quite some time, and of course, it came against the Yankees. These two teams got to have a pact to play every game like it's Game 7 of the World Series. I mean, did you see what Nestor Cortez did? It's like he faked throwing the pitch. And to be honest with you, I felt like that was karma. The baseball gods did not like that. Nothing came of the Andres single, by the way. Maybe the baseball gods weren't too upset because they handed Aaron Judge a hanging slider 450 feet for a 3-run moonshot. That ball looked like it had rockets attached to it. Cleveland's face of the franchise answered with a 2-run home run of his own. Jose Ramirez is so good versus lefties, and apparently so is this kid. Gabriel Arias went 425 feet at 107 miles an hour the other way. Pulling it that far is impressive, but going Oppo Taco, that's wild. New York's favorite player, Josh Naylor, tied it on a single. It's 4-4. We skip to the 8th. When the former Yankee got his revenge, Estevan Florial was traded away from the Yankees this offseason. He's got to feel on top of the world. Cleveland, they had the lead for like 4.3 seconds and lost it because Will Brennan took an awful route, but also Anthony Volpe, he's been scorching baseballs, and I mean that. His exit velocities are up, the walks are up, the chase rate and the strikeouts are down. That's a really good combination. Now, we need extras to solve this one. Rizzo, he smoked one down the line, and it might have been more if Verdugo didn't dog it on the bases, and Cleveland turns a wacky double play to end the threat. Naylor, he grounded into a double play. No, he didn't because Volpe dropped it, he bobbled it, and there's another bobble. Now, to be fair, the infield was in, and Brennan ripped it. All Andres Jimenez has to do is lift the ball and put it in play. He does it as David Fry sprints home for the walk-off W. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. It might seem like a random game to recap next, but McCutchen reached a big-time milestone, and because he's one of my favorite players, I want to show it. Before that happened, Trey Turner squared up a pitch, finally got his first home run of the year. He knocked in another after Pittsburgh tied it. Do not let this guy get hot. We saw what he did last year after he got that standing ovation and he got hot. Zach Wheeler, he was dicing. He punched out 10 buckos through 5, only 3 base hits allowed, but because he's Zach Wheeler, he's going to try and go 6, maybe 7 innings, and that curveball did not break like he wanted to. That ball hung, and Captain Jackson Winsky launched a grand slam. He needed that one bad because he's been pretty terrible to start this year. Joey Bart, he's been the opposite. He's up to 2 home runs and 5 RBIs in his first 10 at-bats as a Pirate. And there's the milestone. Andrew McCutchen, he barreled up a changeup in the zone, his 300th career home run. The 2013 NL MVP made some history. He's the 18th player ever to have 400-plus doubles, 300-plus home runs, and 200-plus stolen bases in one career. He joins guys like Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, A-Rod, and Griffey. I mean, to me, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. Injuries and that shortened season from 2020 stole a bunch of stats, but maybe that'll work in his favor. Maybe they'll feel bad for him and vote him in. So the Pirates win big 9-2, and the Padres, they're going to try and do the same to the Dodgers after Will Smith called one of their players, Jurickson Profar, irrelevant. Profar was mic'd up and said that he was in the wrong for what happened, so he did apologize. He was mic'd up when Cronenworth made a sick diving catch. Manny, he got a fastball in the zone, and he still got that bat speed. He then flipped his bat in front of the LA dugout. I absolutely love it. More drama, please. And, of course, Will Smith, what does he do? He ties it, and let's just keep on stirring the pot. Max Muncy, he put LA up by 2. That's his 4th home run. He's hitting 240, and by the way, if Max Muncy hits 240, he might hit 50 home runs this year. The Padres, they got one back on a Camp Usano ground out, so 2 outs, runner at third. Mookie's got to hurry up, but Freddie, he can't scoop it. The game's back to being tied. Jurickson Profar, did he go yard? Did he go yard? He just missed it. 102 off the bat. If it was 103 miles an hour, maybe that ball leaves. Still a base clearing double. Profar, he's not playing like someone who's irrelevant. He's hitting 320 with 13 RBIs already. Xander, he put a nail in this one with a double play in the ninth. The Padres, they take 2 of 3 in this series. They've won 3 of 5 on the season against the Dodgers. From one LA team to another LA team that's not actually in LA, the Angels, they're still taking on the Red Sox at Fenway. Tyler's facing Tyler, and Tyler won. Tyler O'Neill has 7 home runs. He's on pace for 80. He's got a big payday coming if he can keep that up. He's not going to hit 80, but maybe 30, 35. Tristan Casas homered as well. He's been a lot better lately. He has 28 home runs and a 130 OPS plus over his last 148 games. Brandon Drury, he was a dog last year, but he's been struggling. So that right there has to feel really good. A home run the other way, let the ball travel. The Halos, they actually tied it in the third, but Pablo Reyes clutched up in the fifth with an RBI double to deep center. Tyler, he was trying to get Tyler again, but Mike Trout flew in to make a sweet diving grab. He's 32 years old, but he's playing like he's 26, and you're about to see something that hasn't happened in a while. Masataka Yoshida hit a home run. That's the first time in 9 months that he's done that. That's a long 2-run home run. But like I said, Mike Trout, he's playing like he's 26. He's still blazing fast at 32 years old. That's a stand-up triple. He scores on a Taylor Ward ground out. Kenley, he looked as bad as a relief pitcher can look. He hit Ohapi. There was a single to Mickey Moniak. He walked Zach Neto and Rendon. He's been a lot better since that standing ovation. He plates Ohapi on a sac fly. 2 outs. 2 on for Mike Trout, and Kenley, he saved his best pitch for last, a 94-mile-per-hour painted cutter. And it's tough for anyone to hit. We've talked about the Red Sox and the Yankees, so let's see what the Orioles did yesterday. Corbin, he's facing off against his former team, and he saw a lot of that last year. William Contreras, he's at the 1 spot, so that's a leadoff home run. He was skipping around the bases. The Orioles tied it up instantly. Ryan O'Hearn had a base knock to score Gunnar Henderson. And to be honest, it's just really nice as a baseball fan to see Cedric Mullins back and healthy. That's his 3rd home run of the year. He also has 2 stolen bases. Ryan O'Hearn with another RBI. This time it went just a little bit further. He's now hitting 291 with 16 home runs over his last 128 games. He's been very, very impressive. Baltimore, they're up 1, and Burns apparently did not want the W. He tossed it into right field. Adames, he scores to tie everything up. I love when I say it's tied, and then boom, not tied anymore. Blake Perkins, he charged up for a home run. He's hitting a blistering 385 through his first 7 games. Jackson Holliday came into this at-bat just trying to get a freaking base hit, let alone a home run, but now he can breathe a little bit easier. There it is. He sets up an RBI opportunity for Gunnar Henderson, and Gunnar has such a sweet swing. He ties it at 4. Adley, he dribbled into a double play, but because there were no outs, Jackson, he actually scores. Milwaukee, they can blame Boston for this home run because they let Colton get hot. He's hitting 441 with 4 home runs and 13 RBIs. Oh, by the way, he also has 2 stolen bases because he's just that good. Craig Kimbrell started doing Craig Kimbrell things, a lot of traffic on the bases, but just like we saw with Kenley earlier, he saved his best pitch for last. He got Frelick guessing. Baltimore, they wrap up a fun W in Camden. I probably should have showed this next game after the Guardians game because it was just as crazy of a back-and-forth game. The Marlins, they were down 1 after Duvall sac fly when Brian De La Cruz, he belted 1. He's been looking a lot better as of late as well. Atlanta, they reclaimed the lead after Berger could not make the throw, and Ronald, he flew around to score. Olsen, he makes it 3-1. He scores Albies. Duvall, he added to his RBI total with a long home run. He missed one in the first at-bat. He gets it right there. Ronald, he brought home Michael Harris to make it 5-1. But again, this was a back-and-forth game, so here comes the Marlins. Ronald, he missed the catch by an inch. Brian De La Cruz, he collected another RBI, and Jesus Sanchez, he's actually going to tie it. That was a crazy-ass throw from Michael Harris, by the way. He got it all the way to home on the fly, just a little bit offline. Dylan Lee is now facing the team that drafted him, the Marlins, and Nick Gordon, he put the fish out in front. His 2-run blast made it 7-5. Marcelo Zuna, speaking of former Marlins, he just barely missed a go-ahead home run. He settled for an RBI double, and oh my, he did not settle right there. Marcelo Zuna with 2 strikes. He's now hitting 340 with 7 home runs and 21 RBIs. He's on pace for 243 RBIs. Rizal had a 1-2-3 ninth for his 3rd save. The Marlins, they fall to 3-13. The Blue Jays got to keep pace with the juggernaut AL East. They are looking for back-to-back W's versus the Rockies. This game's going to be easy. Justin Turner, he drove in the first run after Rogers could not hold on to it. That's all that Toronto needed to win, by the way. Barrios, he was insane. We'll show him in a second. Vladdy, he's been terrible with runners in scoring position, so he broke the spell with a rocket single. JT, Justin Turner, he was at it again. He knocks in Vladdy on an RBI double. Barrios, he's going to have to really clutch up in the 5th. He let a few guys on, but he strikes out Chuck Nasty. Then he gets Tovar, and that'll end the threat. Kyle Freeland, he's still out there for the Rockies, so we know that this was inevitable. Justin Turner versus lefties is just not fair. That's his 3rd RBI base hit of the game. He's 39 years old, hitting .390 with the .481 on-base percentage. Rios got through 7 clean frames, and at one point, he actually retired the final 9 hitters that he faced. Only 3 earned runs allowed in his first 4 starts combined this year. This is the best that he's ever looked, even including his days in Minnesota. IKF, he's been pretty good for the Blue Jays. He's hitting almost 300 with pretty good defense. Nate Pearson, he was throwing bullets, 103 on a fastball, but he ends it on a slider. Screw it, let's go find Jose Barrios' old team, the Twins. It's still kind of weird to see Jack Flaherty on the Tigers, but that's a nasty pitch. He strikes out Willie Castro on a front foot slider. Jeffers, he's up with 2 outs, bases loaded, and Jack, that was a good pitch. You just have to tip your cap. Jeffers, he's got enough strength to actually get that ball dropped. That's baseball for you. Later on, Flaherty showed some athleticism. He nabs Castro trying for a bunt, but you cannot nab that one. Christian Vasquez makes it 3-0. He snaps an 0 for 14 streak coming into that one. Bailey Ober, he was incredible for the Twins. 6 shutout on just 3 base hits, and that's huge for him because he had 9 earned runs in his first 2 starts. He needed that bounce back in the worst way. And did that just happen, Javier? He turned on a curveball. That's his first extra base hit of the year. It took him 43 at-bats to get more than either a walk or a single. He raised his OPS plus to 3. Not 300. 3. The Tigers, they get it going. Mark Canha, he got blessed after Kyle Farmer just straight missed it. 2 are going to score. That just stings. Farmer is 2 for 25 on the season. Then he does that. Torkelson, he threw his bat at a sweeper that was in Narnia. He got it to fall for the go-ahead. Jason Foley, he made fans sweat a little bit. He walked 2 in the 9th. Jeffers up. He smokes it, but Colt Keith, he was playing up the middle. That's Foley's 4th save of the year. The Tigers win by 1, and the Royals and the Mets wanted some of that win by 1 action. The game started off with Doc Gooden's number 16 getting retired, just the 9th number retired by the Mets. Jose Butto with flashes of Doc, might be blasphemous to say, but hey, again, Jose Butto was nasty. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. That's sick. The Mets were cooking in the 4th. Runners on 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Tyrone Taylor, he sent a ball into left, but MJ Melendez, he makes the catch. He crow hops, and then he makes the throw. He's out at home. He's got 12 extra base hits and a 168 OPS plus on top of that great throw right there. Everyone is breaking out for the Royals this year. Cole Reagans broke out last year, but he's back out there for the 5th. He gets Nimmo to ground out, so that's 5 shutout with 7 punchies for him through this game. Jose Butto kept on shredding. He struck out 2 in the 6th, so that's 9 strikeouts on the day. Lindor made the grab for him, so he goes 6 shutout. Reagans, he's going to try and match that. A 98 fastball past Starlin Marte is a strikeout, so he does match Butto. They both go 6 shutout. Alvarez, he gets sawed off on a weak grounder. Cole Reagans is out after that, so the bullpen's going to try and step up, and man, there was some trouble in the 7th. Lindori's up with the bases loaded. He skied a fly ball that Vinny lost, but then he found it at the last second. The newcomer, John Schreiber, he was hyped up. Deja vu happened in the very next inning. The Mets loaded them up, and Harrison Bader, he just tapped in a run on the day of Masters. Shout out to Happy Gilmore. Hey, an RBI is an RBI no matter how far you hit it. Nimmo, he proved that he didn't even have to hit it. He took a walk on 4 straight pitches. Stratton completely imploded, and it looked like Edwin was about to do the same. Vinny smoked a home run. Now, remember when Vinny almost dropped a ball that was hit sky high? Pete, he's going to have to try and do the same to end it. Flailing arms, he's calling off everyone, but he does catch it. And look at the Mets. They've won 3 straight series. It's just so sad to see what's happening with the White Sox and even their starting pitcher, Mike Soroka. So Graham Ashcraft, he was carving early, because of course he was. He's facing the White Sox. Christian Encarnacion Strand, he belted a long 2-run home run off of Mike Soroka, and it's just sad to see what's happened to his career. He looked great in spring, and he just hasn't looked great at all to begin the year. Jamier hit a sharp single that was off the glove. 2 were going to score on that one. The scorekeepers kept it. A hit, no error. Chicago, they got a few, but Nick Martini, he got them right back. Martini's been really good with the pop this year. That's a 2-run home run. Ashcraft, he had 8 punch-outs over 5 1/3. Martini shook things up again with a lefty-lefty RBI knock. The White Sox, I mean, they suck. What is this team? Fletcher, he dropped the ball. They give Tyler an RBI double. Christian Encarnacion Strand drives in 2 more. I'm not even going to show the rest of the game. That's the final out. Chicago, they're dead last in OPS, and they're 5th worst in team ERA. You know who's actually behind the White Sox in team ERA? These next 2 teams. I didn't even mean for that, but hey, that's a fantastic transition for me. That makes it easy. Lamont Wade Jr. drove in Jung Hoo Lee, so the Rays team ERA isn't getting any better, but neither is San Francisco's. Randy, he singled in a run. Ahmed Rosario, he muscled out a 2-run home run. He's on a hot streak. His batting average is now over 300. Isaac Paredes, he blooped in Harold Ramirez, so it's 4-1 Tampa Bay versus their former Cy Young winner. Make it 7 runs as Rene Pinto has some serious pop. 433 feet, for a 3-run tater, and then he did it again. Remember, he's a catcher. Izak, he went yard, his 5th of the year, and check this out. He has 58 career home runs. He's pulled every single one. 58 of 58 have gone to left field. The Rays, they went easy. They improved to 9-7, but again, both teams, they're hovering around a 5 ERA. Same with the Astros, but they're nearing a 5.5 ERA. Jose, he's trying to get the Rangers' ERA to match theirs. Altuve, he's been a hit machine the last week. That's 1 of 2. Here's the second. Green light on a 3-0 count. He has 7 home runs for his career off of Nathan Eovaldi. He's hitting .385 with 5 home runs. He has 22 home runs, 15 stolen bases, and a 165 OPS plus over his last 107. Evan Carter, there's his second home run. He's having an awful start, but he's trying to get hot. Victor Caratini, he got that run back. His double makes it a 2-run lead again. Nathan, he just didn't have it. Adolis, he can't get there. 2 more score. Marcus Semien doubled in Leote to make it a 5-2 game, but you just can't hold back this Houston offense. Chaz doubled in Alvarez and Tucker. Houston's up by 1 million, looking like a blowout, but it's not really a blowout anymore. Marcus Semien, he put a charge into that one. A 3-run home run. He's got 14 RBIs and an almost 140 OPS plus. Josh Hader, he was deployed, only needs 1 out, and he gets it. The Rangers, they're now 8-8, and the Astros are 6-11, so they have some work to do. Those 2 teams put up 13, and so did these next 2 teams. Lane Thomas and the Nationals, they had a nice first half of this game. Lane singled in one, and then he belted a home run in the 5th inning, so the score is 4-1 when the 6th came rolling around. Washington, they got another rally starter. Trey singled, and Trey Lipscomb eventually scored on a Joey Meneses bloop single to center field. Lane Thomas, he secured another RBI base hit. He singles in Meneses. Washington, they're out in front by a bunch, but not so fast. JJ Bleday had 3 hits today. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Tyler Nevin, he plates 1. That's cool. Lawrence Butler, he did the same. He turned on a pitch for an RBI. That's a wild pitch. Nevin, he scores. It's a 2-run game. This Law guy was awful. I mean, he imploded. His arm fell off. He walks Shea after that wild pitch. He then walks Ryan Noda, and then there's another walk. My friend Daryl Hernandez, he works a great at bat. His free pass makes it a 1-run game. The bases are still juiced, and Toro, he lifted one. Winker flew in, and that ball barely dropped in. I thought that he had it, but it bounced in Jesse's glove. Jesse, he's going to get a rally starter with an infield single. No, he's not. Lucas Urseg with a between-the-legs flip to first base, and then Mason Miller came in and struck out the side. Look at these 3 strikeouts. He has 3 saves on the year with 15 strikeouts in 8 innings. He's nasty, and the A's, they win another series. Here's something crazy to say. Oakland will move ahead of the Mariners if the Cubs can get a W here. Well, that's not great. Say he's going to score after Luis threw it into right field. Michael Busch is a cheat code, 440 feet. That makes it 4 straight games with a home run. I could not be happier that the Cubs got him because LA, I guess they didn't have room for him. But then again, he played 250 games at second base. They chose Gavin Lux over him, and I hope that Gavin Lux breaks out because, wow, that's looking bad. Jorge Polanco, he's trying to break out for the Mariners. He turned on a pitch for a huge 2-run home run. Junior Assad, he's got to work on going 6 or 7 innings because he's great through 4 or 5, but the 3rd time around the order really bites him. The Cubs, they got into some trouble in the 7th, but Luke Raley, he grounded into a double play. Mark Leiter Jr., he was fired up. More trouble for the Cubs. This time, the bases are loaded in the 8th. Neris got Ty France to roll over, and Dansby Swanson, he turned the double play all by himself. We head to the 9th. Raley up again. J-Rod, he's in as a pinch runner. He's safe on that pickoff attempt. I think, wait. The call was overturned. That can't happen. J-Rod is off to one of the most miserable starts you can possibly have. He's hitting 182 with a 32 OPS plus. The walks are down, and he's striking out 33% of the time. He's got to break out soon. So Oakland does move ahead of the Mariners. We're going to see if St. Louis can help out the Padres. We know that they beat the Dodgers, and if Arizona loses, the Padres will be ahead of the Diamondbacks in the standings. Bases are loaded for Gallen. Bottom of the order coming up, and Crawford, he got caught looking. Michael Ciani, he grounds out, so no damage done. Miles Michaelis, shout out to him. He was cruising through 4 shutout. Jace Peterson, he lifted a ball to left, and Walker, he was just ahead of the throw. A very close play at home. Jake McCarthy, he had a 2, and he's fast. He ends up at second base. Back-to-back walks from Miles Michaelis. He's losing steam and fast, so they pull him for a righty. Marmol went righty for Corbin Carroll, and then Corbin said, thank you very much. That's a 2-run single. Maybe the pitch mix was better, and maybe Corbin struggles against that dude. I don't know, but he steals second. He ends up at 3rd after a wild pitch. Marte scores, and Zach Gallen, he was locked in on the bump. He gets Nolan Gorman to chase. Wilson sent one deep, and oh shit. Now, usually I don't cuss, but that's what I audibly said when I was making my script. Now, I'm happy that both of those guys are okay, but that was scary. Gallen, he struck out 7 over 6 shutout. The Snakes, they do stay tied with the Padres. Another beefy recap. This was a long one, so shout out to my editor, Pesky Talk. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Pesky Talk. He has been doing wonders for my recaps. Thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy the web gems.
It's this one off the end of the bat. Ray racing over. Ray, backhand flip, and in time.
Little pop-up, shallow left. Long run for Chaz and a dive.
Freddie Freeman sends this one to shallow left. Profar's over in foul territory. Sliding.
Coming up. To the right side, Julian goes up.
Second and third with Dahlbeck out. Hot shot. Hamilton up and gunning. Skips it and got him.
Right center. Benson, long run. Step.